am a queen. Ain't no lame niggas messing with me. Cause I'm a bad one. Yeah, I'm a bad one. Cause I'm a bad one. Yeah, I'm a bad one. No one better than me. Yeah, I'm a bad one.
Hello my Briakins and happy Vlogtober. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I make my overnight oats, and I'm going to give you how I make it currently and my healthy alternative recipe. So we have some vanilla syrup, some oatmeal for the healthy, caramel, creamer, cinnamon, praline pecans, jello, vanilla jello, caramel, swirl, the oats, the regular pecans, and some protein powder also for the healthy recipe. I always make my overnight oats in like a glass bowl or a mason jar. So this is a glass container that it works perfectly. I make a single serving at one time. So I put a cup of oats into the glass bowl, and this is me just pouring it. I OD'd it with that little extra, like I could have just poured it in, but whatever. We poured it in, and the next step I put all my dry ingredients in the bowl first. So I put my vanilla powder in. I put like maybe a tablespoon of it. I don't put too much, but this is just for the flavor, because the regular Quaker oats or whatever brand you get, they don't come with any flavor like in the packages. Like if you get cinnamon brown sugar, that comes with the flavor and the powder in it. So we just want to add, well, I just like to add the extra sweetness to it. Next thing I add is cinnamon. I be ODing with the cinnamon. I love cinnamon, and I love the flavor that cinnamon adds to my oatmeal, so I have no problem adding that much. You add how much you like. Next, I take the same 1 cup measuring cup, and I do equal parts, 1 cup of liquid, 1 cup of oats. So I use the creamer. I fill it up to however much I think, probably about halfway. Then I pour the rest with milk. I just use regular milk right now, but when I'm going healthy, I'll use like almond milk or oat milk like I showed in the video. And then I fill the rest with water, because when I make it on the stove top, I use water anyways. I do half milk, half water. So overnight oats, I kind of do the same thing too. Next is the pecans. I just cut them up because these are also dry ingredients as well. So I just cut them up. These are the praline pecans. This is what I use right now currently, because these pecans are so good, but they're also sweet and have extra sugar. So when I'm trying to be healthy, all I do is use these to top my overnight oats for like a little bit of sweetness, but I usually don't put them within the oatmeal. When I am doing my healthy recipe of my overnight oats, I use just regular pecans that I have in my cabinet. I'm going to show you in a few. Just for the sake of this video, I just cut them up too. They're way easier to cut than the praline ones, because the praline pecans have like a harder shell. Like there's some sugar or something on the outside, so they're harder to cut. But as you can see, these pecans are so much easier. Once I finish cutting them up, and when I put them in, I cut them smaller. I cut them into smaller chunks, just so like they can be in every bite, because I kind of like the crunch in my oatmeal. I put the rest of the bits to the side because we're going to use those later. But next we put in our liquid, and I'm just going to pour it in and just use a fork to mix it up. And yes, I usually do eat my oatmeal with a spoon, but I use a fork to mix it up just to make sure all the dry ingredients just get mixed in good with the liquids. Because like I like using this bowl, because when I make it in a mason jar, usually the bottom of the mason jar, like the oats that are at the bottom, they don't get all the ingredients and they don't get everything mixed in within it. So I like to use a fork to make sure everything is good. And I forgot to mention, before I add the liquid in, I would add my protein powder. I would add it with the jello. That's what I'm trying to show you here. But I wasn't putting protein in these overnight oats, so I forgot. But usually I do add the protein powder in with the dry ingredients, and I just use a simple vanilla powder. You can use any powder that you think would go with the flavor that you're trying to make. This recipe is for, I call it my caramel pecan overnight oats, just because I use caramel creamer, caramel drizzle, and pecans to add on. I think these overnight oats are definitely giving fall vibes. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the recipe. I added the drizzle on top just to show you what's added on. But I feel like you would add it more in the morning time, because it's too wet right now to like sit on top. But I add the rest of the pecans that I chopped up and some extra cinnamon to top it off. And then I put it in the fridge to sit overnight. I usually heat my oats up in the morning time, but you can eat them cold as well. But that's how I make my overnight oats. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and happy Vlogtober.
I am a queen. Ain't no lame niggas messing with me, cause I'm a bad one, yeah, cause I'm a bad one.